I know one of your deepest desires has always been to know how to skin an armadillo. So I'm about to show you. Your quest is over. We got one ready to be skinned. First thing I like to do, like it with most animals, cut off the feet. Limb offers make short work of that. Next, I'm going to cut off the head. One thing about armadillos, one of the many reasons that you may want to skin one, is there can be a head, a market for the skull as well as the shell if you can get either one of them undamaged. And then you may just be looking for a super stylish hat for personal use. Completely understood. Kind of like a turtle, you got to work around that shell, but that's easy enough to do. These things aren't the most pleasant smelling critter in the world, but then again, neither is a possum, or a lot of people would say a coyote, or most of the other things we skin. So, all right, now you can see the shell is attached. So I'm just going to go right around, exactly like skinning a turtle, just go right around the edge of the shell, cutting the skin all the way off. We're filling up if you hear that in the background, we're filling up a pool for Chief. And that's him back there carrying on and running water. So you can see, as soon as you cut that through that skin, you know, there's meat right there, the shell, and meat right there, so there's not a whole lot to it, really. And keeping that in mind, you know, back here around, once you get towards the back, especially right here in front of the hind legs, you know, the gut is right there too. So it's easy to get off in there. And then I'm going to cut on the front side of the tail. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Call me crazy. But one of the reasons is I'm wanting to have some of this armadillo skin tanned. Call me crazy, I accept that wholeheartedly, but I think that there is a chance that it's going to kind of look like ostrich skin, to be honest with you, once the hair's off. I mean, it looks gross right now, but I'm anxious to see how it looks tanned. And when I say tanned, I don't mean like fur tanned, but like leather tanned. Tanned fur, what little bit of hair is on here, off. Looks like I've got some fat around him. Middle of summer, that's kind of unusual. Well, I'd say it is. I don't know. I ain't cleaned that many armadillos, but I'm going to go ahead and cut down this leg. There we go. Don't really pull too well like a lot of other critters do. can get a view of the meat there. I mean, it's not terrible looking meat, a little bit red, but may have to break her down and cook a little bit up just to give it a whirl. I'm not above trying anything. I don't know if you'll be able to get a little bit better view there. Alright, so we got them skinned all the way back to the back end here. I'm going to go ahead and pull the shell off and then try to pull the legs off before I cut any around here around the hind end. What I'm going to do here is cut around the back side of the tail so that the shell should be separated, and it should pull right off pretty easy, surprisingly enough. I'm trying to stay with my knife right on the edge of the shell as much as possible, just so I don't get into any of the guts. You can see just from kind of pulling that skin off, got into it a little bit, but none of it's busted, which is a good thing. And that shell will kind of unfold easy enough, so I think we about got him. Let's see. There you go, got some fat right there along the back strap. I'm just gonna kind of cut there, pull, flip him around the other way, see if we can get the last little bit. Right there around the hind legs, it's tied pretty tight to the shell. Kind of peel it back though, and there we go. started out armadillo. You got the shell, head. Let's get these. This sucker's got a pretty good bit of fat on him. Probably gonna try to trim as much of that off as possible before I get ready to eat. And then, man, once you get just about any critter down this far, you just breaking down the quarters. There's a hind quarter. You can see that's, you know, red meat, like a light red. It's not a dark red. It's a pretty good hams though. Another ham off of there. Looks like we've got some back straps. You can't pass up a good back strap, right? Good old boneless hunk of meat. And then you got your front legs and front shoulders, not near as big. But if you come in, you kind of come in a little bit farther back than you would think, but you got that whole shoulder blade there. So if you take it before you, I mean, like I said, this is squirrel, rabbits, coons, anything. You take and start moving that leg, you can see that shoulder bone, that shoulder blade back in here. So you want to get in behind that to get as much meat as possible, or I like to, because there's a little bit of meat right there. And you can see and then there'll be sometimes there's a little bone up there at the front that's easier to just break. And there you have it, meated out armadillo. And now, you know, the biggest key, in my opinion, when you're dealing with any kind of wild meat, is you've got to be careful how you handle it. You want to avoid getting any of these guts, or, you know, spilling any of the guts, urine, or anything like that on the meat. And so that's why I've avoided this, you know, making any cuts around the back end here until now. I got the meat off that I want. So then I'm just going to go ahead and make my final cuts through there. And then there, I got me, oh man, the hole in it right there. I did that. I got me a nice prime piece of armadillo skin right there. It ain't big as anything, but I'm telling you, I don't know if you can see it or not. You can see kind of the dimples. It's got that gross looking hair on there, but I'm pretty sure you get this thing tanned up and it's gonna look, nobody's gonna, it'd be mistaken for ostrich hide. But anyway, like I said, in some places, if it's legal in your state, you may be able to sell the skull, because some people have trouble getting the armadillo skull and the shell. If you don't have a hole in it, if it's intact, you can do that. Got some decent meat here to eat, and then we'll see what kind of leather we wind up with. Got the carcass we can get rid of, and everything you ever wanted to know about skinning armadillo.